Hey everybody, welcome to the San Diego Zoo. My name is Rick Schwartz and I want to take you on a walking tour through a part of the San Diego Zoo right now. We're outside of our reptile walk where we're going to see all sorts of cool reptiles and amphibians from around the world and right from California. You know, amphibians are a little different than reptiles. They do enjoy being in the water. And speaking of water, I've got a couple of friends over here that are going to help me on this tour, and one of them likes water an awful lot.
My name's Katie and this is Jessica, and we have Justine here, our North American beaver who is 10 years old. She does love the water, but she also enjoys going on walks throughout the zoo.
Well, Justine and I have stopped off at the Galapagos Islands, or at least the San Diego Zoo's version of the Galapagos Islands. Yes, we have our Galapagos tortoises, and as you can see, they are moving at top speed right now. Of course, a little tortoise humor there. Some people don't realize they don't really swim, but they do enjoy soaking, as we have one enjoying the pond right there on this warm day. Now, Galapagos tortoises are known for being one of the oldest vertebrate animals around on our planet today. In fact, some of our tortoises here are well over 100 years old. And as far as we know, documentation shows the oldest one on record that we know of, because they know when it was hatched, is over 175 years old, lived in Australia at a facility there. And of course, it's quite possible that the Galapagos tortoises on the islands of the Galapagos are much, much older. No one was there necessarily when they were hatched, so it's hard to say how long the species lives for. Now, we have the first arrivals here at the San Diego Zoo in the 1920s, and those were some young ones, and then we had some adults arrive in the 1930s. And again, knowing what we know about them, we know these animals are well over 100 years old at this time. Unfortunately, they are an endangered species. The Galapagos tortoise does face a lot of challenges in the wild. See, they lived very harmoniously amongst the plants on the islands that they're found on for many, many years. And as sailors started coming by, they would pick up tortoises as something to eat as they sailed the world. But unfortunately, rats and goats would also get off the ships at that time. Sometimes they would purposely place goats on islands, knowing that that now will make more goats and they can stop by and get fresh meat on their travels around the world. Unfortunately, the impact of goats being introduced to the islands along with rats and other animals consuming the food sources for the tortoises, and the tortoises just couldn't compete. They never evolved to have competition for their food source. So their numbers had dropped quite a bit, with some of the subspecies even going extinct as far as we know. Thankfully, groups like the Galapagos National Park have put in immense effort to save this species, partnering also with other scientists around the world who've gone out there and studied them, other zoological facilities like San Diego Zoo, doing our work on our part to help educate people and breed the species as well. Well, that has made a difference. Conservation is a long game. It doesn't happen overnight, but we are starting to see some of the numbers stabilize for the species in the wild, which is really great news and sort of a good tribute to the importance of conservation of all animals. While Justine's over at the other window watching the gharials start to get in the water, which I know Justine likes water too, I want to tell you a little bit about what a gharial is. Now, they're a type of crocodile, and you can see that long snoot on the one over there, very narrow too, with a lot of sharp teeth. It might seem like a bad idea for Justine to want to go swimming with these guys, and I wouldn't encourage that, but they probably wouldn't bother her unless they felt threatened. See, what they like to eat are fish. Those long, narrow snouts with those sharp, jagged teeth are great for grabbing onto large fish, kicking their head back and swallowing it whole. We might be more accustomed to our alligators here in North America with a broader, sort of wide V-shaped head and mouth, which allows them to tear off large chunks of food. Gharials, for the most part, are going to eat their fish whole. Now, these are a critically endangered species, and here at the San Diego Zoo, we do have a total of 4, 1 male and 3 females. And sure, hopefully one day we might even have some offspring as well, which would be great for the species. Being critically endangered, well, they do definitely need human assistance, and that's because they're endangered, unfortunately, because of human behavior. They're a great example of why we really need to pay attention to what goes into our waterways. This species, like many other animals, rely on fresh waters. In fact, very much like us, rely on fresh water for life. So if we make sure what we're putting down the drain, or going down the storm drain or into the gutter that eventually goes to our waterways is not polluted or dirty, putting trash away where it belongs and things like that can save a wide variety of species, including a beautiful animal like the gharial here. You'll see those ones there basking in the shallows. They do spend most of their life in the water, swimming around, getting out to bask though to warm themselves up. A gharial is a reptile, meaning, well, we might have heard the term cold-blooded. It's a little misleading. Nothing in the body actually chills the blood. The reptiles that like to bask in the sun, well, they're relying on the outside temperatures to warm or cool them. So they might go into the cool water to cool off or find shade or shadows. And then to warm up, they're going to be out there in the sun like that. Many species, in fact, in the crocodile family, or crocodilian, have bony plates across their back. And of course, it does protect them if they were to get into a fight with another animal that's got sharp teeth like they have. But those bony plates also warm up in the sun, similar to a stone in the sun all day long. So even if they are swimming, looking for food, that bone there, those little patches of bone across their back and spine, stays warm, helps radiate heat into the body, kind of maintaining a nice body temperature for them. Well, since Justine was not allowed to go swimming with the gharials, she's decided to go home and swim in her own pond. So I guess we'll end it here. I hope you all enjoyed our little walking tour through the reptile walk and some of the other areas of the San Diego Zoo today. Have a good one, everybody.